So, good morning, guys. Today we're going to be making a ramp, a quarter pipe, out of any cardboard box, basically, that you might have been able to find in your house. Could have been a cereal box, maybe some frozen food, some cookies, but in the end, it's going to look sort of like this, right? You can see it's a quarter pipe, has a deck. All I used was tape and some scissors, and you might need to tape it to the table or hold it, or you can even put a weight in there, but you can totally just ride on it, do all these tricks on it. It's great. It's also amazing because you can just make this stuff out of whatever you find in your house. It's a good way to just recycle paper. Yeah, so we can start by grabbing a box. So I'm going to use this one for first, just as an example. It's sort of smaller, right? Also, it's okay if your box is already taken apart and folded up like this, because we're going to be cutting it up anyway. And so, okay, if everyone's ready, we're going to start. So the first step we're going to do is you're going to take your scissors. Got my camera a little bit. All right, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to just cut up along the long edge of the box, right? So you see how it has 4 faces, right? One of these faces is going to actually be the ramp part, right? So you can see here, this is almost the same. This is pretty much the same box, right? So you can see where we're going with this. So you can take your scissors and you're going to slice up. Yes, I don't need too many hot pockets, but I just had these lying around. So it was great. Yeah, so you're going to slice up, right? So you can see I'm cutting. And I'm going to cut basically up to where this edge is right here. Right? So almost to the top, but also you can even start by just taping it together first. So you can tape the top first, actually. Sorry. You might not want to cut all the way through yet, but if you take some tape real quick, you can just close off the top, and that's going to kind of form the deck, right? You can put like a bunch of pieces on there. Not too many. You don't want to waste tape, but enough that it's not going to open up again. So I'm going to put 3 pieces, just one on the left, one in the middle, and one on the right. Here we go. So now we have sort of half a box. All right, so if you guys already started cutting up here, right? You want to cut almost to the corner, but not quite, because you still want to have a little, most quarter pipes have at least one small section that's vertical, right? So you want to kind of help keep the structure of the box that way. And so you're going to do the same with the other side, and I'll show you guys what it's going to look like. All right, so far you should have something that looks kind of like this. Right, you got the ramp, and as we go on, we're going to turn this part into sort of the reinforcement for the back and the bottom. Okay, also, if you guys have any questions, just please don't hesitate to ask in the comments or the chat. Here, I'm just gonna wait for Kevin. Are you finished? You can nod. I'll just use you as a sort of okay, cool. All right. So if you guys see this, you can look at Kevin's screen too. But we all have this nice ramp thing going. And so now it's ready. We're ready for the next step. So the next step is going to be, you're going to do the same thing for, well, not exactly the same thing, but you're going to cut up the other end this time, right? So you see how here I had to cut up on these edges, right? But here is the thing, like you want to make it, you don't want to cut all the way up. You want to cut sort of like halfway, right? Because you still want to have like this, part to be straight, right? So you can sort of set the height of the ramp. And you don't want it to be like too low compared to the ramp itself, although you can make adjustments after. But for a start, I would say to cut it about halfway. So I'll show you guys real quick. Right, so we're going to cut along the opposite edge this time. And we're going to go about halfway, right? So it's going to look like that. But you see, I still kept this part. This edge is still pretty connected here, right? And you're going to do the same to the other side. Right, you want them to be like pretty even. You can eyeball it, of course, but now you should have something that looks sort of like this. I cut that a little higher. All right, so now you should have something that looks kind of like this, right? It's got little arms and this huge flap. Let me just make sure everyone is where we're at. Cool. All right. It's looking good. All right, Kevin, you got it? All right, nice. Looks good. All right, so now we're going to start making the rest of the ramp. We're just going to be folding it up. And you can kind of see where this is going, right? Even before, like, you have it, you can kind of like, put together with your hands almost to sort of, it's going to look something like that. So what we're going to do is, so try to have like, see how the ramp would look, just, right? And then you're going to fold this part right at the edge, basically where you finish cutting it. So if I cut it up to here, I'm going to fold it along that sort of cut. So right here. Right, so now you have this part folded, right? It's going to be set at, a 90-degree angle, right? It's going to look like that. And so now what you guys should have is this, right? And so the next step, when you guys get this, is, let me see real quick, check something. Right, cool. All right, Kevin's got it. All right, right. So now what you're going to do is you're going to get your tape, and you're just going to, what you can do actually, this is up to you, but I would, all right, yeah, here's what you should do. You should just take your tape, and you can just start taping this edge to the ramp, right? Oh, also, before you do that even, you're gonna notice that, this thing, it might be kind of pushing out like that a little bit, but the good thing about, this thin packaging cardboard is you can kind of like bend it in a way. It's pretty flexible. So if you want the ramp to sort of sit more, you can just always, do little folds like that, and, it'll start to make the shape a little better, right? So you're gonna grab your tape now, and we're gonna tape right along here. So what I do is I would put it sort of like that. And so this is really the part where you're making the ramp, right? So you want to kind of make sure that sort of this part's more or less flat, right? Like this part of the ramp going this way. And you want to kind of try your best to sort of retain that, keep that curve. So we're going to put it, I'm going to tape it. Right, I'm looking at it. All right, I think it looks pretty good. So I'm going to tape it. You're going to have a piece of tape. This part's really important, so you're going to want to reinforce it with a few pieces of tape. Okay, and now you have something that's sort of resembling the final product. All right, so next step would be, so it looks kind of long, right? So what I would do is I would fold this part in, right? So you see your box should probably already have like this flat part, right? It's basically the same edge as the deck of the ramp, right? Just the opposite side. And so if you already have that flat, you can put it down, fold it in. And what you should do is you should get a pretty long piece of tape, and you're going to want to just tape it so that it goes across, right? You want it to be as reinforced as possible. Right? So now you should have this sort of thing going, right? And then, let me see. You guys got it? Right? Yeah, so tape is the real thing that's holding this together. So Scotch tape will work totally fine. All right. Let's see what you guys are up to. All right, Kevin, looks pretty good. All right, and then finally, the last step will be to put your take these little arms, these flaps that we created, and we're just going to fold them in, and we're going to tape that together. All right. So I would get like a long piece too, just so you can tape it across both the back, and you want to be able to sort of wrap it around to this edge here. All right. So I have a long piece of tape that's going to wrap around. That way it's just a little stronger. All right, and when you guys are done, it should look something like this. This one was a little long, and the reason I did that was, well, depends on where you guys cut it, right? So maybe I cut this one a little higher, so it's going to be a little shorter now. But also really depending on the ramp. I mean, let me see something real quick. How are you guys doing? All right, Kevin's got it. Look at that. It's like a vert wall. All right. Okay. Right. And so I'm actually going to make a few right now, just so that if you guys are still working on it, you guys can just watch me do it as well, because I'm going to be repeating a bunch of these steps. Oh, here's the other thing too. Actually, this is important. Even if you don't like tape it to your surface, you could also, what you should do is you should take this end and you kind of fold it a little bit downwards, right? And the only reason for that is just so your tech deck wheels can roll over it a lot easier. Right, it's just gonna look a little weird, but on a flat surface, it might be a little better, you know? Right? This is kind of a funny looking quarter, but you guys should get the idea. You can see for this one, actually, I did this step a little bit differently, just because of the height of the ramp, I realized. So what I did for this part was here, I can take this one apart right now just to show you guys. But I actually folded this flap in to create sort of a, like that. Just a little angled edge. And I taped that just because I didn't want this part to sort of go out more. This would make it a little stronger just on this section here.
That was a great demonstration. I actually followed it, and I'm pretty happy with what I got. And I'm looking at the video screens, and it looks like everyone's got like little functioning quarter pipes. Right? It's
whoa,
so cool.
Some of these are looking great.
Questions? Does anyone want to show us your quarter pipe? You can
I pretty much made it out of flat cardboard.
The good box. You have fingerboards at home to use that way?
Nice. I have 4.
You have 4? Nice.
No,
Do you have any other
good.
obstacles? Does anyone else have anything they'd like to, you want to show us? Anyone else like to show us your quarter pipe that you built, or anything else? Any other fingerboard obstacles you've got? Let's see. I bet. Anyone else? Let's see.
These cores are looking good.
Nice. I see Gertie.
Yeah, you know,
quarter pipe there. Hey, it looks like everyone's just skating now. This is great. Remy.
I mean, once
hey,
it's
Remy,
done,
what did you make your quarter pipe out of? What is that?
Oh,
that's really vert.
Yeah, what is this made out of?
wood.
No.
You made it out of some cool, awesome.
It's a cereal box.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Very, very large.
Awesome.
oh, that's great.
And, Simon was mentioning this, but depending on where you cut up to here and also how you bend will define the curve. And some of the words, some of you guys might know about that is you've got vert, which is the vertical part at the top, and then also the radius. So Simon was saying it looks like I have a very steep vert wall, and what he was saying there is that like I have a very tight radius, where some of the curves are a little more mellow. Like Clint's looks pretty vert. It looks like you got a cool vert wall there. Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa. So like I said, I mean, if you guys find it moving around or whatever, you know, you can just try to tape it to your surface. You know, just use some, like it's just one strip of tape and put it.
You could put it against
the bottom edge here, or put it against a wall. Yeah, that'll work totally well too.
Taping it. Yeah, you know, sometimes I don't know if you guys notice, like those gray quarter pipes we have at SKATEYOGI. Sometimes we put really thick black tape on it.
But now this thing won't move at all.
Look at that.
Blunt fakie.
Nice.
Yeah, and the really great thing about this is, you can do it with any cardboard box that, has, more or less the same sort of shape, right?
Cool.
With these flaps, right?
I got a few, Simon, I got a few requests to ask you to demonstrate how to ollie with the fingerboard, because I heard that you know how to
An
actually
ollie.
do a real ollie. Simon can
Right.
use his fingers like we use our feet. So I don't know if you can. You have to look close.
Yeah. All right. So for the ollie, yeah. So part of what I really liked about fingerboarding for me was, as I, was skating a lot and stuff, it reminded me so much of skating, fingerboarding, just the way your fingers move and all the tricks work. The physics are almost exactly the same, right? So for an ollie, right? I'll move my camera down. Okay. So an ollie, right? It would look kind of like this, right?
Wow.
Oh, that was kind of bad. All right, that was an okay one. But so basically what you do is, I actually learned how to do it with 3 fingers first. I'm not sure why that helps, but someone told me to do that, and I was trying it with 3 fingers first, right? But the whole idea is you bring it back a little bit, right? So just a little bit. It's almost like if you were just to practice ollies, like stationary, right? Like standing still on your board, right? You'll notice that when you go to pop sometimes, like you might move a little bit back, right? It's the same idea. So you're gonna bring it back a little bit, you're gonna bring it up, and you're gonna raise your arm, so almost like you're jumping on 2 feet, but you're also gonna move your hand, right? And so what that motion is, just moving your fingers forward, it's gonna be like how on a regular ollie you would slide your front foot, right? And that's what's gonna get to level out. It's almost the same thing, right? You can go, right? It takes a lot of practice. I'm not kidding. Like, it took me a really long time to figure it out. But honestly, the more you do it, the better you'll get. Remember, it's just bringing it back, right? That's like really important. It's a little hard to ollie if you don't actually bring it back, right? If I'm just here, right, I might not get the height that I want. But if you bring it back, you can get it really high. You can like ollie into the ramp.
Whoa. You guys
Right?
see that?
You can ollie over the ramp. Like skating, it's actually easier to ollie higher over stuff. Kickflips are easier. Honestly, that could be the case, I think everyone likes skating, fingerboarding can be different for everyone. Definitely the kickflips though, it's almost the same thing, right? As skating, you flick off, right? So you kind of look like you flick with your front finger and you'll get it to flip. Oh, that was a double flip. I don't know if you guys can even see that through the camera, but wow, you guys are making me want to fingerboard again. Get back into this. But yeah, so once you have a ramp, you can basically do whatever with it. All these tricks that you want. And I saw some of you, you don't even have to use it for a fingerboard. I've seen some of you use it for like toy cars and stuff. And I think that's great. It's a toy that you can hold on to for a really long time. It'll definitely last. You might have to reinforce it sometimes, but I think the good thing about it is actually like the longer you use it, the more it's going to start getting used to being in that shape, right? Because it might be kind of like awkward at first. I have this one, but the more you use it, it's going to start following sort of how you ride over it, right? It'll start to form itself in a way.
Nice. Thanks for showing us the ollie, Simon. That's really, I still haven't figured that out. I don't think my fingers are coordinated enough, but.
Oh, this takes practice. You can use 3 fingers, right? Like, that's how I did it at first. I was literally going like this, like, for hours when I was younger.
Nice. A lot of times
Totally
for
bugged my parents.
I'll do tricks where you ride into it like a slappy. Like
Oh,
I'll do
yeah.
a lot of nose slides or tail slides. or ride-on grinds. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. The ramp is great because you could just ride up and get into like different stuff like rock to fakie or blunt to fakie. Another thing we should add is, you know, once you have your first ramp, then the next step would be to, you know, you can create a little mini skate park, and not everything for fingerboarding has to be built exactly for fingerboarding, just like in street skating, where we go out and find things that weren't meant for skateboarding. Sometimes it's really easy to find obstacles. Like here in my office, I just found this little box right here, which is the perfect size for a manual pad or something. So you can kind of start to put like things together. Like if I had my quarter pipe in a box.
Yeah, you can start building your own skate park. Also,
Yeah.
guys, make sure if you're gonna find something in your house, just make sure to ask your parents first, because I used to just grab stuff from wherever in my house, and like sometimes I wasn't supposed to be like, you know, scratching it up. So make sure to ask your parents about that. But like Kevin said, it's a lot like street skating. You can totally find like all types of spots. You know, even like your bathroom sink might just be the perfect shape for a bowl or a half pipe, right? That would keep me busy for days. Oh, speaking of half pipes, you know, you make two. Look, you can make a little mini ramp, right? I was actually messing around with this after I built these two, but you know, you put them at sort of a distance, right? You don't want them to be like right next to each other. You want to have a little bit of flat, right? Just like a regular mini ramp. And yeah, look, it's just like at SKATEYOGI, guys. Rock to fakie, tail stall. Yeah, no, you can do that for days. Oh, he bailed right there, but it's okay. Yeah, you guys can get really creative with this. I mean, you can build huge ramps like this. If I were to make it right now, you know, you guys saw some of you made 0-box ramps. You know, it's going to be huge, like the mega ramp. It'll be great.
The Fruity Pebbles family size mega ramp.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I see I just added. Yeah, you can totally decorate them.
Cool. That's great. Simon, I want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing all this with us. I'm actually blown away by how great this came out, just following along from what you said. I might actually go and get another box of this cereal just so I can eat the other side of it. So maybe they'll get a little extra business. I like to eat anyways, but
you guys get really creative, you know, make a spine.
There you go.
Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. This was really fun. I'm glad I can share this with you all. This is like a great way to spend your time indoors, you know, release some of that pent up skate energy that you guys might be missing out on in quarantine. I hope everyone's hanging in there.
Yeah, good comment there. Any requests for future workshops are totally welcome. We could do another one of these with a different obstacle, build it all together. We've also got some other things coming up. I think we'll do some more skate video time with Danny, so you can tune in and watch skate videos and chat with us while Danny curates and narrates some skate videos. We've been doing some stuff on live. So yeah, stay tuned. We want to, you know, keep ways to connect with all you guys and see your faces. Yosio just posted the link for our Twitch channel. So if you haven't tuned into those, but you want to watch some skate videos that are family friendly, you can watch the archived versions. Great activity for a rainy day to get stoked. We'd also love to see some of your quarter pipe creations. If you take a picture and share them, if you tag us, or if you just want to email us a picture, info@skateyogi.com. We'd love to share some of the creations you guys have made. Maybe even if you put together, there it is. The email address is there in the comments. If you make a little fingerboard edit, or I don't know, maybe get creative. If you decorate your ramp, anything, let's share it out there and stay together. Even if we're apart, we could still like have fun, and this is a great way to do it. Pictures, videos are welcome. All right, guys, I think we're going to sign off for now. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank Simon for presenting, and I hope to see you all soon. All right, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you next time. All right.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.